Welcome to Conversations with Inspiring Soul Seekers, where I will take you on journeys of self discovery, alignment, and inner healing. The purpose of these interviews is to inspire you through uniqueness and transformation of each guest, leading to more authentic and empowering life. And I am thrilled to welcome here Lucie Rimona, who is not only my former client, but also someone who I know personally over the decade. And all that I can say is she is a true inspiration because watching her, what was she going through all these 10 years or even more, and how she was able to turn her life around, it's true inspiration. Lucienne is gifted healer and she found her passion in Theta Healing. And when we were looking into her design, what stand out was that she is here to awaken sleeping phoenix. And if she does, then she lives her purpose. Because not only she will live an empowering life, but also she can help others to do the same. Welcome, Lucy.
Hi, Renata. Thank you for having me here.
You are welcome, Lucy. I would like to start if you can explain what sleeping phoenix means and what it means to you.
Yeah, it's absolutely about inner power for me and also about like being disempowered and sometimes maybe even having your life falling into the pieces and into the ash and rising again, finding your inner strength, inner power after a hard time and hardship of your life, connecting to your inner power and rising from the ashes and thrive and waking up into your full potential and living who you are meant to be and who you came to be.
Beautiful. And Lucy, would you say you went through this time of your life when you felt like you burned into ashes and you had to rise from really bottom?
Yes, absolutely. Like when I got your report and this information about Phoenix and rising from the ashes, it was like, oh my God, this is very much me. And I think I am the person who was always very disempowered by other people in the life and felt kind of weak or disempowered, and even by my parents or through my upbringing. And also from people I was in the relationships, and I went many times. I would say maybe at least 3 times in my life through the stage when my life was falling apart. Really, everything was burning into the ashes. I felt like my life ended in this point or that I am done. But there always was something in me, something very deep, which I could feel. It was this feeling like I will never give up, even though I fall, I hit the bottom. I am rising here. I am rising from the ashes and coming back to my power.
And I can confirm that Lucia is all about inner power. And what I wanted to ask is what was that helped you to step into that power? Because you said like you were many times in that point when you felt really down at the bottom and burn into ashes, but you would never give up. So what was that? Was that innate feeling or was it something else?
I think it's something in me, just like inner stuff. Maybe when you are asking like this now, I would name it or call it like love for life or something, some spark which should never actually disappear. So yeah, it's some inner knowing about something about life that we can here to actually enjoy and thrive here on many levels.
Mhm.
And even though circumstances can be very difficult and we can suffer and be internally in the pain, there it's just part of the life, and there is always this other side um, which is like this love for life, or joy, or maybe message can be, even though you are in a really bad place now, for example, you can always change it. You can always write, and maybe it was this inner knowing that you always can change, you always can transform in your life what's not working. And yeah, you are the creator of your life, and it's in your hands, even though you can feel like you are losing control over everything and you don't have
Mhm.
it. Truth is, you always have it. It's always there for you.
So beautiful because myself, I found many times like, oh, I just give up. Not necessarily the lie, but the path I went on. And then suddenly something changed in me and people just carry on. But it's beautiful. Would you mind to share was your the most challenging time in life? Just
Mm,
to keep the
yes.
idea.
I think there were more, absolutely, but one actually which started my transformation was my divorce, and at the same time, I was having, or I was dealing with quite huge health issues. And
Mhm.
so I felt, yeah, absolutely disempowered in my relationship, very dependent at that time, which I cannot imagine now how it happened. But at that time, I was very dependent partner. I would say maybe anxious, insecure partner.
Mhm.
Yeah, there was also problem with communication in that relationship. Yeah, with my worth, like knowing my value and worth, I felt always very unworthy, I would say, of love or
Mhm.
stuff. And yeah, so I manifested, I attracted very unhealthy relationship. And during this relationship, I started becoming very ill. Also, I went through burnout at the same time at my work as a teacher at school. So yeah, it was like burnout. I didn't like my job anymore. I was in a really messy relationship, and I was on the bed, or in the bed most of the time. So this was maybe the main event of my life. I felt like life is ending or going the direction I really don't want. So, but I knew one thing really clearly, that I have to start working on myself, and that I had to release myself from that relationship. And since that time, even though there were still challenges, there still were these points in my life when I planned some future, and that future started falling apart. And yeah, I also went through some illness again at some point, and some relationship issues. It wasn't so bad as this first time, but it served me to awaken me.
Wait, and
And
yeah.
yeah, it was like 15 years ago. This one was 15 years ago, maybe even
Mhm.
more.
Yeah. Yeah, I met you a little bit later, but I remember you were in completely different energy where you are now. And when you were saying you needed to start working on yourself, can you just expand a little bit what it means and yeah, what was
Yeah,
the
yeah,
journey
and
about it?
yeah. I somehow know, even though my partner could act some way which wasn't healthy, I knew it's
Mhm.
mainly like myself manifesting it or creating it somehow. So I knew I have to start looking into myself, into my own pain. I somehow pick up that it might be my background, like what was happening in my family in early years. So I found out some therapists at that time who did regression, kinesiology, and family constellation. So I
Mhm.
started going regularly for these things, and yeah, I started realizing after maybe 6 months of this that I really abandoned myself in that relationship, and then I wasn't living who I was, who I was meant to be. And it could have been the reason of my burnout, my illness, and even relationship issues. And also after 6 months, I realized that I am a healer and that I am here to help people like heal them. But I knew I still had at the time I still had the working on myself. So for me it was like, okay, I am healing myself, and then I will be helping others to find healing.
Mhm. Yeah. And did you start practicing healing straight away at the time?
Yeah, this like 6 months after this transformation, and
Mhm.
I was continuing like family constellation and other stuff. But
Mhm.
I got first attunement to Reiki at that time. So I
Mhm.
started
Yeah.
practicing Reiki on myself, and I believe it helped me to heal myself because one of the diagnosis was asthma, like I couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
So I started giving myself treatments of Reiki and doing regular Reiki meditations. And I believe that, yeah, also with family constellation and kinesiology, it helped me recover, fully recover from asthma at that time. And for others, I was practicing at that time just for friends or friends through
Mhm.
friends. And so
Mhm.
and my friends, not like public. I wasn't able to go publicly at that time. I wasn't ready for that.
Fair enough. And would you say that sometimes clients show you what you are meant to hear on yourself?
I'm not sure, but yeah, maybe yes, if you are at like this, because I noticed that I can help people a lot with relationship issues. And
Mhm.
sure, yeah, people were coming with some healthy issues. I was giving them Reiki, but what came up that there is some issue with death or money. And also what
Mhm.
happened once after Reiki, I received information for the guy like you should somehow get better your relationship with your father or make up with your father. And told me, but I haven't seen him for many years. And he went out of the session and he met him on the pavement.
Mhm.
I was experiencing like miracles,
Mhm.
and also then with Theta Healing, sometimes people are coming with these issues when they didn't see or haven't seen parents for very very long time, and we are working on recovering these relationships. On the other hand, there might be very toxic like relationships with your parents when it's better to cut them off or maybe step a little bit away from them. So this can be a case as well. So I work a lot on these relationship issues, but I think it's because I had lots of experience with myself
Mhm.
with relationships. And even though I love my parents, I am grateful for them. Now I can see how the patterns wasn't healthy. And I think it's important to saying this out loud and communicate this with people. You can love people, they even can be your parents, but it doesn't mean that
No.
relationships are healthy and that you thrive in these relationships. And this
You
takes inner
mentioned
power. Maybe sorry that and this takes inner power, really connecting to inner power when you are supposed to set boundaries with people you honor, you love like your parents, because every child loves their parents, and now you realize, oh my god, but I have to set here boundaries, or maybe I need to see them more, or maybe in some extreme cases it's about I need to cut them off for some time, maybe, or for good.
okay, so now you mentioned boundary, then I will go with that. I know the boundaries are very important for you, again, from the human design perspective as well. And you truly need to have the people in your life who will go through and get to you through these barriers. Yes, which you are meant to set. It doesn't mean that you are going to isolate yourself or ignore people or not, but set these boundaries, and those who will withstand that they are the right people for you. Do you agree with that, or does it resonate?
Yes, very, very much. This was one of the information from your report which really helped me because I always felt this need as well, being more on my own, being like on the introvert side more. I felt guilty when I was communicating this with my surrounding and setting the boundaries. And recently I became very comfortable about having those. Also, I am observing consciously who can really make it through them into my life. And it's not that I would like to chase people away. It's not like this. But for example, recently I moved to a very remote area, to a very natural area, which is my really environment, my element. But I, for example, I'm noticing who is really able to come here and visit me here. Like people have my invitation and I am observing kind of who can make it here and showing me very interesting things about people who I have in my life or had. It's not even like boundaries, but maybe a little bit barriers, I would call it. That I can have little barrier than boundary. And I am always surprised when somebody can make it through it. And I have to say, I really appreciate people and love people, but it might be because they are right for me. They are the right.
I hope I can share that even you so far away, little bit isolated away from the city, and you met a man, a new
Yes,
man.
a very long
Maybe it's
time of being single, and I really was devoting this time for healing myself even further and more. I met very very nice, loving, supportive partner, and yeah, he's one of the surprises, like that he so natural and how he made it through this wall of me being isolated because yeah, we also have friend of both of us who told him she's not interested in men in relationship. She is lonely living by the forest. And with him it went very natural. And I believe many people saw me like loner woman living by the forest who never will have probably a relationship. But I believe that it is because I got into alignment with myself through working with your basic or personal report, and also through your business alignment report. I started being more aligned with myself and more aware of how I am using like authority and my strategies and everything. I started following it, and so it happened for me.
everyone showcase of that it works, I would say. Yeah, that's amazing. And, you tap into that topic that you did ask for personal information from human design, but also for information about your business, because you are not just soul seeker, you are also soulpreneur. So you wanted to feel very good in your business and in your work. So would you like to share what this information gave you and brought to your work?
I think there was this very essential information for me that I am creating from deep surrender and deep trust. And it never felt right for me chasing after things or following marketing strategies. I was never able to following like online courses about marketing, about strategies. It didn't feel right. Or when I did follow it, I became very tired and exhausted. So I went more into this energy. I consciously started connecting to this energy in me that I really deeply trust that everything is provided for me. More I surrender, more things can come to me. And even with this partner or even in my business, it may be funny, but when I do nothing, things are starting falling into the place for me. Like I can be in the garden doing gardening, yeah, connecting to the plants because it's who I am as well. I usually get the most requests for the sessions, or because I'm selling meditation as well, or the most. others for meditation. So I think this one was big one. Yeah. Also this life in reaction, like more I am more about like reacting what is coming to my space, and I'm going for it or no. And like yeah, not chasing after things. And for me, I realize for me it's really important in my life and in the business be connected to nature and somehow yeah bring it to my business as well. So I believe that for me, for example, it's not a lot about doing socials. You know, there are people out there like if you have business and you want to be successful, you have to do socials and you have to do this and this. And for me it's not working like this, and I believe for many people out there it's not working, and they are unhappy and they are exhausted. So yeah, I started trusting more my process and more that I know what's the best for me and my business. Yeah, I can get inspired, I can get some reactions for things which are coming right then. It might be even courses, but maybe sometimes I can just get some pieces from the courses which will help me, and will take all in because it probably will not be working for me.
And he also said, since you are more connected with the nature and as well the environment when you live, you start attracting more aligned clients as well.
Yes, yeah, I notice because I have been teaching data healing courses, which might change now as well. But I noticed that people with similar passions are coming in or were coming in, like people who like growing their own food, or they are connected to animals because yeah the next thing is that I am very much connected to animals. Yeah, their dream is to yeah exactly have cottage or have little house somewhere in the countryside. And yeah, so absolutely. I think yeah, what helped there as well was change of my brand colors, which you channeled, and I love them absolutely because before I had more these like pinky, violet, light blue colors. It was more what I was thinking that people would kind of like or think about what is meant to be spiritual person, or what does it mean to be spiritual teacher. And when you channel this deep dark green and golden and little bit of silver color, I was like, oh my God, this is so me. And it's very much powerful. Yeah, maybe one of the myths can be that spiritual person cannot set boundaries or be assertive, like that you are supposed to be on this cloud, always happy and content and always kind. And even though people stepping on you or go over you like bulldozer, you still should remain calm. And I feel like no, you can really be this powerful creature and say no and even be mad at people sometimes, or yeah, and it doesn't make you less spiritual. It makes you more authentic, I think, when you do this, and it's what the life and everything is about authenticity.
Yeah, and definitely if you look into brand colors or marketing stuff or people who tend to be healers or light workers, pretty much it's like a golden white and purple. And I remember when when I tune into your energy and look more deeper into your human design, so like, oh my God, this is not her at all. She is the deep, dark, woods forest, this kind of ugly in a way, which pretty much you described in the beginning when we started the call. The power comes not just from, as you said, inner power inside, but as well from your experience. And that dark green was so much you. And other elements, because you are very much connected to the universe and other forces, which I remember you are here as well, not to be just recognized by the beings, but as well with some higher forces who will help you serve here in your in your unique way. So yeah, I'm very, how would I say, I'm very happy that you could see it as well that it resonates, and you had the courage to change that. So well done to you. Yeah. Would you like to tell me more about this Theta Healing mentioned several times? What it is for those who had no idea?
Mhm. Yeah, maybe now I
Mm.
just realized you were talking about something which I would love to mention and what came now to me about this healing, and then I can absolutely explain about more about it. That the healing which I am providing and the way I healed myself was actually looking into ugly parts of me or shadow. So healing which I'm providing, it's not coming straight through the from the light, but
Yeah.
more through the darkness of our being, our souls. And because I wasn't scared to have a look into my ugly parts, so I'm not scared to face ugly parts of my clients, I think. And it's why
Yeah.
the healing is so powerful and helping people step into their power. And yeah, when you mentioned Theta Healing, it makes sense what you said with my report and everything, because Theta Healing is meditation technique, but it's also therapeutic technique, or you can use it for changing your subconscious belief using Theta Healing meditation about connecting to all that is or connecting to the source energy. So I'm not surprised that it attracts me when I'm very much connected to universe. I think it deepened that I healing deepen my connection to the source and communication with the source, and all the changes which are happening in the sessions are done by source energy. I am just connecting to the source energy, asking source energy for the healing or for some change, and then I am observer. I just observe that the healing is occurring for the person, for the client, but it's done by source energy.
You went through more modalities. What is that Theta Healing spoke to your heart?
Yeah, I went through lots of energy healing process. I mentioned like Reiki and Shambhala and some other system of energy healing. Then when we met through EFT. So when I lived in UK, I did EFT, and I think EFT cleared lots of my emotional stuff and like from meridians and from my energy. So the path was clear for me to find Theta Healing. So after I don't know, after a few months of EFT, I found Theta Healing, and there was this feeling in me like that a lot of stuff changed in me over years and all the technique, but I felt like there was something more essential in me which haven't changed, and I felt it needed to change. And somehow the healing provided this for me. Like it somehow
Mm.
went even deeper. It might be because we also in Theta Healing we are looking how the illnesses or our problems serves in our lives and what we are learning from them. And when we can understand this, they really can go. And somehow the shift was huge. Like it was quantum leap for me when I found out Theta Healing.
Yeah. And again, because I knew you before and after, um, I can confirm that it really did the magic for you. Because you step like into a completely different person. You are in completely different energy, more empowered, and yeah, it's yeah, it's really mind
Yeah,
blowing. It's beautiful.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Like when you met me, it wasn't bad, but I wasn't in the good place in my life as well. Yeah, there's been a journey for me to go. But I also think because when you start connecting to the universe or to the source energy, you start kind of little bit more becoming it. Like it's a pure energy of love and
Yeah.
some compassion and kindness. You can better heal yourself through it, and you become it. You can then
Yeah.
have more compassion for others as well. And absolutely it empowers you because you can lost some fears as well, because you know you are protected, you are guided all the time. So it's what when you have your own connection to the source, you feel more like whole and protected, and everything becomes easier. And also, it's what, because I've been teaching some Theta Healing courses, it's what my clients are describing as well. Like they come into the course that their husband is making them angry, or upsetting them. And then they write me after the course that the same, they still do same thing, but it doesn't bother them anymore. Or children, sometimes for some people, our children are upsetting, or there is some issue, and they write me after course. I am much more calmer, and I cope in very different way than before course.
Amazing. You mentioned that you were teaching or you are teaching Theta Healing, but before we
Yeah.
start this call, you also revealed that something has shifted recently and maybe you are going to stop with teaching. Do you want
Yeah.
to tell us what happened or how it feels or what's the reason?
I deeply love Theta Healing, and I can see how it changed my life and how it's changing lives of my clients. But this idea was coming a bit very gently over maybe last 2 years, but always then I was like, no, it's not right time. I feel that this makes sense and I will continue teaching, but I was that I will continue until I will feel that it makes somehow sense for me. And one of the layer here is that it feels that my role expanding that I think actually into the Czech Republic, because what I felt mainly that I was about to doing. It maybe came to the end, and now there are more teachers, because when I started, there were just 2 teachers of Theta Healing, and nobody, I think, knew what Theta Healing is. So I was more about spreading this information as well, and this made me really happy. Like that, people in the Czech Republic have this opportunity really shift their reality, shift their beliefs, and yeah, shift to different consciousness. And I enjoyed like meeting people in the courses. I love all my really people who can through these courses. But I started also noticing that I am much more tired after teaching. And so it started coming like, oh, okay, maybe it's not in the alignment for me anymore, because me as a manifesting generator, I react to the things, and when I have something which is supporting my life, it boosts my energy. So always when it's the right thing for me to do, and I go and I do it, I always have energy for it. And I started noticing change in this, and just came to me that maybe this time of my life just came to end. And it might be because also I discovered a different technique to work with people, which is called Evolutionary Light. And it's more work on consciousness. Like Theta Healing is still energy healing. Through Evolutionary Light, I was working over last past 7 years with my teacher from the UK. I was going through some transformational work with her. And this is working that at some point you get access yourself. It's not at human, that there is courses. It just happened naturally. And uh, it felt as well how you were saying, or I think in my report, that I felt at this point that I got recognized somehow from the spiritual world.
Yeah.
Like, Lucy is ready to start working with evolutionary life. And I became so honored. And at this point, I am more exploring what is it for me, and how to work on myself. But I think during this year, probably I start offering some programs, transformational programs through Evolutionary Light. And it might be why I feel that I stop teaching Theta Healing, or will teach less, or maybe I can take break. I also was thinking I might take break, as my license is still here for next 4 years approximately. So I can still now and then maybe do course. But yeah, it feels like path is going different direction, and it's not easy. Easy decision for me. I even had some meltdown about it little bit because it's maybe like when you are having really great relationship with somebody, but seven, because I've been teaching I think 7 or 8 years. After 7 years, you maybe feel like the time for you into the end. So it's not easy. But when I'm super honest with myself, it's how I feel at this moment.
Well done. Well done for being honest with you, especially. Yeah, I can confirm that sometimes what is right for us is not always easy, and we might not understand sometimes why is that right. It all makes sense just maybe to carry on, like logically. But when your inner authority is telling you, it's very brave to follow it. And that's what I found human design sometimes that some people find that challenging actually to follow the authority for that reason because we might have something in our head, but it's not meant to be, it's not right, that's not meant to be for us necessarily. And as you said, it can be just a break for you. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to give up completely. And you will see, I'm pretty sure the life will show you. And this is what I like about you, because you were the one of these people who really went into that process. Because some people just had the information, maybe they are not ready to implement these strategies and start doing that. But you are the one who, I think, since the beginning, since the first time I was giving you this information about your human design, you were very quite excited about it and started to experiment with it. So yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you for it, because I see my purpose here is fulfilled as well, because for just sharing this information with you, and people go through the process of deconditioning and stepping in their purpose and potential as you are. And I love to observe it. So thank you.
Yeah, for being part of my journey, because it was really big for me. It was this good kick, good kick into my, I would call it. It's more authenticity and uniqueness and fulfilling my purpose and stepping into my potential.
Beautiful. Tell me, I will go back to this the evolutionary light. Maybe some people might not be able to comprehend like what's the difference between energy healing and consciousness light.
Yeah, this is very, very interesting because it's connected to Christ consciousness, actually. And it's like thousands years before there was this, Jesus who came in and mm, made first connection to the Christ consciousness. It's not just about him as a person, it's a quality which in our universe, Christ consciousness, this unconditional love and this quality of life. And so he made first connection, but humanity wasn't ready in that time to live it or embody it. Like it was just him who, say, like planted the seeds. And I think it was maybe decades ago that there was the guy, David Ashworth, who started connecting again to this quality and start bringing it to the earth. And actually, teacher I was working with started working with this guy and creating some work. And yeah, it's about that you cannot have course, get attached to it or get connection, or there is no attunement. You just have to, or somehow you evolve your consciousness enough that you gain access. So it's what happens to my teacher, then it happened to me. There are just few people, couple of people on the earth now who are connected to this quality, but it's about bringing this quality here. And through transformation we all can connect to this now, or it's more about living this Christ consciousness from within. So it's not about one person who will come and save us or help us or show us what drives consciousness. It's about that it's in us and we can connect to this. And it's also interesting because it's like my teacher is bringing very different quality, even though she's connected to the same. And I will be bringing different transformations and different qualities. So even though, for example, she has some transformation which are about healing abundance or healing masculine and feminine, even though if I will be bringing maybe similar stuff, it will feel different and it will do different things for people. But what I was tuning in lately, I think for me, it feels a lot about divine feminine, like that I'm bringing a lot healing for divine feminine. I think I feel this healing of the womb, connecting to the earth, and as well connecting to the heart and voice of women and connection to the universe. I see some link like this, or I would love to create some transformation and healing for this, as well some rejuvenation and regeneration, because I believe we can regenerate much more than it's in normal consciousness, or how you call it, like collective consciousness, collective consciousness, that we can regenerate more. And yeah, as well, that I believe that we can create abundance more through feminine way, not through this hustle, but embodying feminine qualities. So maybe we'll do some transformation for abundance, but I am at the stage where I am exploring it, and we'll see what I will offer people then.
This feminine kind of quality coming a lot, especially now, or was coming to me last few months through different clients and so on, when it is about the power, but it doesn't have to be that masculine way. It's more moving, shifting, very subtle ways, but I feel it's shifting and it's time for it. And while you were talking, I actually realized, and I had to double check. So I looked into your chart, into your human design. And actually, it's not a surprise what is happening for you, because you are stepping into a different cycle very soon this year in July. So you are moving from your Saturnian cycle into Uranian cycle, which means you are stepping into different theme of your life as well. You become adult. Yeah, because now we don't live only like during the Saturnian time, like 30, 40 years. Now we live in average 84 years. So we don't have children anymore when we are 15 in average, more around our 30, 40 nowadays. It's more often. So very soon welcome to your adulthood, but as well, you are stepping into your potential. So still before it was something just to gather skills and resources to be able to step into your potential. So it really doesn't surprise me what you are saying, that you are a little bit shifting from the teaching now to this evolutionary light of consciousness. So amazing. I'm just thinking, is it anything that you would like to share with the others and give them any like your insight or wisdom or what you stand for?
For me now, it feels like quite complete what I've said through all our interview. I would say maybe be brave and don't fear, be yourself. It's worth it, even though it's not sometimes the easiest. It challenges us absolutely. And, but this reward, this inner feeling of satisfaction and fulfillment, it's worth it. And as well, everything starts falling into place in your life when you are brave enough to be authentic.
Beautiful. And a last question actually came to me was speaking. So, what was the difference for you on your journey before getting the information about yourself from the human design and art?
What was different, like in my
Art.
life? Yeah. I think I still was very much conditioned on some level, especially like I can have quite magnetic energy, and So, which means that lots of stuff can start coming to my way. And I didn't have good boundaries, and I always was this yes person. So I think I was heading the another burnout at the point when I got your information, because I was very out there, always running, sharing, working, and lots of opportunities were coming to my way. I also was translating and doing some interpretations and organizing seminars, except my own Theta Healing practice. I was saying yes, everything which came my way, and it was very exhausting for me. So I think this point when I got that information, I was like, hold on. So for a while, like, where I really have yes, and what is really no for me. And yeah, it took me time to recognize my yes and my no. My life is really much more better, much more peaceful, much more fulfilling. And I was able to came out of burnout, I think, thanks to this information.
Amazing. Thank you very much. I just want to share that Lucia told me that she's getting into passion to work on the topic of relationships and diseases. Is that correct?
Yes, yeah, that when I am able to help the most because I went through it, toxic relationships and chronic illness. I also noticed that there is link absolutely between these. Sometimes somebody is coming like with their health issues, but all along the way we are working on their relationships because yeah, they are disempowered, they were abused, for example, as a children or in their adulthood as well. I recovered and I found my way out of it. I realized it's when I want to focus now, and I'm thinking about creating some programs. It might be as well with Evolutionary Light, but at the moment I'm nearly ready with one program for empowerment in relationship. When there are some Theta Healing sessions and some meditations, and I also on the background I have course for Australian bush essences, so I am supporting people through Australian bush essences.
Amazing. Let's say where people can contact you if they would like to help.
Yeah, I am having website www dot Lucie, like my name, Lucie. Uh, I need your help. Yeah, thank you. Rimona, Rimona .cz. It's in Czech language, but one of my plans is as well put their option for English speaking people. But don't hesitate to contact me, or maybe at this moment, like use Google Translator to know what I am doing, and you can email me. I am happy to work with anybody who is drawn to my energy and to this thing which I have to offer.
Yeah, I will share lots of details so just to make it easier. All right. Thank you very much, Lucia. I wish you all the best. And thank you for being here and share your inspiring stories and who you are.
Yeah, thank you again for having me here and that you being a very significant part of my journey.